Lady and gentlemen, welcome back to another Primo Box Club 1 week hiatus. Why was that? I had a bubonic plague of some sort of, I don't know what it was, but some affliction got a hold of me and whoo, lordy, was it beating the fuck out of me. It was really beating me down. I don't know what it was, some kind of sickness or cold or flu or AIDS or Ebola or cancer. I don't know what it was, but I'm all good now, baby. And good for you, because you get to listen to me again. Isn't that amazing? Yeah, that's what you've been missing, in your otherwise perfect life. I'm sure you, person listening, have a solid job, a solid network of friends and family who are there to support you in all your endeavors, both professional and, whatever other things you're doing. You're probably in good health, or at least I would hope so. And the only thing you're missing is a mentally ill man talking to you for an hour every day. Now, could you have this experience by going to your local bus stop? Yeah, but they're not bald like me. Odds are they probably are. But you know what? They're not like your boy, okay? They can't do silly voices. Actually, every characteristic of mine I add, I realize a homeless person probably does more of and is better at than me. Silly voices? Come on. How many times have you walked past a homeless guy and he's going, I told that bitch, man. I told that motherfucker, man. And they sound like Kali Muscle if you turned his voice up like 8 semitones. If you don't know who Kali Muscle is, you're not a real OG fitness YouTuber watcher like I was. Yeah, I consumed fitness YouTube content for like a decade, and then I didn't do a single fucking thing with it. Look, come on. Look at this bodybuilder physique. Chris Jones, physique's a greatness. Vince G, the swole nerd, who later went on to do some weird shit, but what? That's besides the point. And the god, Rich Piana. Rich Piana. Good fucking morning. That guy was like the OG of like bodybuilder guys making millions of dollars online and pushing this crazy like do as many steroids as you can narrative. He was like the first guy that was really open with that shit. Everyone else like Michael Hearn and whatever was like, yeah, I just eat duck eggs and that's how I look like a Super Saiyan 3 Goku. But Rich Piana's like, yeah, I'm on all kinds of shit because he had his own money already. He didn't depend on sponsorships for the money. He had his own company. I think it was 5%. It's just funny because I used to think he was like a 5%er, like a like a 5%er from Brooklyn. If you know what that is, it's a whole other thing. But yeah, I used to get the two mixed up, and I was like, damn, is Rich Piana in the fucking Muslim Brotherhood? Like, is that what's going on? Obviously not. But he was created by Yaqub, so keep that in mind. If you don't know who Yaqub is, he's a great scientist who created the white race, according to the Muslim Brotherhood. Are they right? Who's to say? I will say this, Yaqub you can tell he's really smart because his head's really big. So, you can derive whatever you want from that. But, yeah. You know who Yaqub looks like? Yaqub looks like, Angstrom Levy from Invincible after he gets his fucking head crushed in and they stitch him back up and his head looks crazy. That's Yaqub. That's what Yaqub looks like. I'm now noticing my throat really, really, really hurts because I was doing an unhinged Stone Cold Steve Austin impression in my car for about 2 hours today. Now, why is that, you may ask? Because I posted something about that on my story and a friend of mine is like, oh, you should post this on TikTok. So I did. By the way, the impression is Cold Stone Steve Austin, which is just Stone Cold at an ice cream parlor, right? But she said, you should post this on TikTok. And I did. And it got 3,000 views, something like that. And then people are like, oh, you should do this one and do this one and do this one. And there I was screaming in my car for fucking 3 hours. And now it feels like, I don't know. I deep-throated a fucking splintery 2x4. That's what it feels like. That's not what happened, but that is what it feels like, I'm panic looking at Ableton Live right now, seeing if I'm actually recording any audio, and turns out I am, just at a very, very low volume, which is what you want when you're recording audio. super low level audio. Anyway, whatever. It sounds good. So, what has happened since we last spoke? I feel like quite a few things have gone down, and I've been away for most of it. And like an absentee father, I have returned with the gift of only my presence and literally nothing else. I did not have an absentee father, so I don't know what that's like. But I hear it's pretty bad. So if you went through that, my heart goes out to you. And not in the weird dog whistly fucking Elon Musk way. I genuinely mean that. My heart does go out to you. But since we last spoke, the Oscars took place. That's right. My boy Oscar is still going. I believe it was the 89th Oscar? Or the 90th Oscars? I don't really know. Oh, no. It was like the 90 fucking gazillionth Oscars. Let's see. 94th Oscars? Is that what we're... Jesus. Okay. It was the 96th Oscars. That is too much. Is it possible that I'm wrong 7 times in a row? Yes, it is. Good Lord. I just can't do math. I can't add 3 to a thing. It's the 97th Oscars. Which, do you think they're going to go fucking all out for the 100th Oscars? Do you think they're going to do some insane shit? Like, maybe they'll bring out Oscar himself. Like, the real guy. They'll finally bring him out. So, anyways, the Oscars happened. And I haven't really given a shit about the Oscars, I don't know, my whole life. But this year, it was different because the pride of Brazil, Fernanda Torres, was riding for us. She was nominated for Best Actress and I'm Still Here, which is a movie that hits very close to home for me and my family specifically. I'm Still Here was nominated for Best Foreign Film. I don't think it was nominated for Best Picture, but it won Best Foreign Film, which is nuts. And we're all extremely proud. But Fernanda Torres did not win Best Actress. Now, why was her nomination so significant, right? Because I think she is one of the only 2 Brazilians to ever be nominated for an Oscar. And the other one is her mom, who was nominated in the 90s against, I think Gwyneth Paltrow won that year. I forget which movie it was that she won for. But Fernanda Torres, her mom, is called Fernanda Montenegro. And she lost to Gwyneth Paltrow, even though her movie, I think it was Central Station, is like a masterpiece of a film, and the way she acted is godlike. Anyways, Fernanda Torres lost, and immediately, California was struck with an earthquake. Now, not a big one, but enough for God to be like, I can't let this injustice go by unnoticed. I gotta say something. Here you go, motherfuckers. That's why I tell people, God is Brazilian. Okay, that's how I know. That's how I know, dude. He was like, fuck this. And he just fucking shook it up, Just fucking... What does an earthquake sound like? I don't even know. I'm not going to try. Those were 2 feeble attempts, and I apologize to your eardrums. And if you're watching, I apologize to your eye holes. The balls of your eyes. I apologize to them. Did you know Shakespeare invented the word eyeball? I bet you didn't, you fat bitch. I'm kidding. You're probably in shape and better looking than I. So I apologize. I'm sure you're a lovely person. But the thing that was the highlight of the Oscars for me personally was the great Conan O'Brien was the host. Now, I think Conan is the fucking man. Okay. I think he's the best talk show host who's ever done it. I think he was so consistently good for so long that no one else really comes close. And it kind of comes back to people will say, oh yeah, but what about Letterman? Sure. Yeah. But that's like when you have a rap beef debate or like a top 10 dead or alive rap debate. And people are like, yeah, so mine are like Biggie, Pac, whatever. And you're like, you are 21. You cannot possibly have been that impacted by Biggie and Tupac. You know what I'm saying? I understand. I appreciate all that. I appreciate Letterman. I appreciate Johnny Carson. I appreciate Jay Leno. Kind of, because I ride with Conan. Team Conan for life. Fuck Leno for that shit. But it's it doesn't feel genuine if I go, oh, but Letterman was the best of all time. Sure he was. I'm sure he, set the tone. To me, as a person who directly affected my life, Conan is the best talk show host ever. To me. He and Craig Ferguson were my favorites. If you don't know who Craig Ferguson is, he is a one of a kind. Just they broke the mold when they made that guy, dude. He's a tremendously entertaining host. He used to have this show called The Late Late Show, right after, you guessed it, The Late Show. And because it was on so late, I think he realized nobody gives a shit. I can do whatever I want. So he would literally just have a fun conversation with the guests. Like you do this thing called a pre-interview before you go on a talk show, just to kind of have an idea of like, what do you want to talk about? And you'll have this spontaneous story that Jimmy Kimmel will just know to cue up. You'll be like, oh, so I noticed you got a haircut. And the guy would be like, oh, yeah, I actually did. Funny story about that, Jimmy. And they'll tell you the most boring fucking story you ever heard in your life. And then Transformers 17 will come out and it'll make $1 billion. So it doesn't fucking matter. But when Craig Ferguson had his show, he would literally, first thing he would do at the start of the interview is rip the cue cards with the information and like throw them in the air in front of the guests to be like, I don't fucking care. Like, let's just talk. Let's just have a good time. And as a result, you get some of the best interviews with these people. And sometimes they were serious. Sometimes they were just, fun. Most of the time they were fun. But once in a while, he could tap into this like very genuine sort of, I don't know, energy with these people and just get them to open up, and kind of like the way Howard Stern is able to do that. But Howard to me has never really been that funny. Like, I think he's a fantastic interviewer, absolutely. But, to me, I value, like, I was talking to my friend about this the other day. It's a bad thing for me to admit, but when someone describes someone to me, or when I meet someone for the first time, I truly value, are they funny, above everything else. And it's a problem. It is an issue. Because, let's say, someone running for president happened to be hilarious. They might get my vote on that alone. You see what I'm saying? Like, I'd rather have a funny doctor than a very good, boring doctor. That's not good. That is dumb. But to me, that is such an important part of a person, is their sense of humor. It's arguably the most important part to me. That I truly do value that above else. If I had like a really funny experience with someone robbing me, I wouldn't even be mad. I wouldn't even be angry. I'd be like, that was funny. I got what I wanted out of it. As long as it's fun. I will tolerate anything that can happen to me. Anything. And this is a little, take this with you if you like. A lot of weird shit has happened in my life and to me sometimes. I've had far from a difficult or tragic life, don't get me wrong. But, occasionally life serves you a shit sandwich and you got to eat it with no drink, no nothing. Just, scarf that bitch down. But the thing that has always helped me, and I kind of made this decision when I was really, really young. I don't know why. I don't remember why, but I straight up told myself, is like, I will not allow myself to become a jaded, cynical person, because I've seen that. And being jaded and cynical is so easy. It's so fucking easy, man. It's the easiest thing in the world is to go, man, fuck all this shit, man. Who fucking cares anyway? It's all fucking bullshit anyway. Yeah, dude, anyone can say that. That's guess what? That's not cool or funny or like entertaining. That's just kind of lame, to be honest. Like, it's kind of a bitch thing to do, to just be like, man, fuck this fucking world. Okay, now what, dude? Now what? Now you're miserable and shit sucks. Now what? It's like, I never really bought into that. And believe me, buddy, there have been plenty of opportunities for me to be cynical and jaded. Let me assure you. But when I was a kid, I really decided, like, I'm not going to let that happen. I will always try to look at life for what it is. To me, it's just an absurd thing. It is purely absurd. Like, it is funny to me. It's funny to me that I'm alive. It's funny to me that I almost died a couple times. It's funny to me that I had a bomb threat on a plane. It's funny to me that I had a home invasion when I was 10 or 9. I think it was 9 or 10. It's funny to me that I don't know. I should have died at the Paris attacks, but I didn't. I'll tell that story another time. But if you try to make sense of life, you will lose your goddamn mind. So I gave up a long time ago, and I just accept whatever happens as like, all right, man, fuck it. Now, that's not to say I don't have any control over my life. That's not what I'm saying. I think you do have control over your life, but sometimes shit's just gonna happen. And if you try and go like, well, I must understand why this completely random thing you're going to go insane. I realize the irony of this coming from me, but, I just look at it as, is it funny? Or can I find the funny in it? Then it's fine. Like, it's okay. It's fine. Like, for example, when I had my snowboarding concussion, that's a funny story now. It's only funny because I didn't die, but it is funny still. I got to tell the Paris attack story one day, but not today. I'm going to save that one for a little bit. But yeah, I've had so many bizarre things happen to me or my family or just people I know. And the only way that I can march forward is to stay, with this idea that like, yeah, life's absurd, dude. It doesn't make any goddamn sense. And you just gotta, it's like, you ready for the French pronunciation? Albert Camus. Albert Camus, as you would say, you American pig. Albert Camus, he wrote about the myth of Sisyphus. If you're not familiar with the myth of Sisyphus, say that 3 times fast. Myth of Sisyphus. It's a story about, it's a Greek myth. This guy, Sisyphus, gets punished by the gods to push a boulder up a hill for eternity. By the way, once the boulder gets to the top of the hill, guess what happens? It rolls down to the other side, and he's got to go down and push it up the hill again. And, Camus, he wrote a whole book on the myth of Sisyphus. And there is a line in there, which I absolutely love. And it kind of is a way that I live my life. And he basically says, one must imagine Sisyphus happy, right? Life is monotonous. Life is bizarre. Life is hard, and life is long, okay? The days are short, but the years are long. So you must imagine Sisyphus happy. In this case, you are Sisyphus, by the way. So that's kind of how I see it, it's bizarre, man. I'm a bit of an optimist, but I really don't have much reason to be. I have wonderful people in my life. I have really cool friends that are doing really cool shit. But for some reason, I have a lot of ambition, but I have problems executing that ambition sometimes because, self-esteem gets in the way and all this bullshit that was put in your head when you were a kid, whether you wanted it to be put in there or not. And then it just gets tricky for me specifically to kind of channel that into, industrious work, like to actually make shit happen. But it's just like that mix of ambition and then the idea that like things will be fine. I have that in the back of my head. It's like, you know what? Everything's going to be fine, which could just be R-worded. I've been told to say retarded less, by the way. So I'm working on that. Tell me what you guys think. Should I say it less? Should I say it more? That's what I want to know. So it's a bizarre mix of like, yes, being ambitious, but also having this weird thing where you're like, everything's going to be fine. I'm going to be fine. It's just odd. It's a strange mix, and I don't know what to make of it sometimes, and I just got to keep firing, I guess. Anyway, Craig Ferguson. Craig Ferguson is a wonderful interviewer. He won I believe a Peabody, which, by the way, there's a lot of prestigious awards out there. Oscars, Tonys, Grammys, what's the TV Emmys? What else? Pulitzer Prizes and a Peabody Award. So the George Foster Peabody Awards program, named after the American businessman and philanthropist, I'll let you guess, George Peabody. They honor what are described as the most powerful, enlightening, and invigorating stories in all of television, radio, and online media. Now, does this mean that Primo Box Club could one day win a Peabody? Sure, but don't hold your breath. You'll pass out. and then hitting your head on the floor could kill you. So, Craig Ferguson won a Peabody Award for his interview with the Archbishop Desmond Tutu, which is just a great interview. I can't remember if it was that one or the Stephen Fry one that he just had no audience. Like he told the audience to go fuck itself and just recorded an interview talking to his guest. I believe it was the Stephen Fry one that didn't have an audience. But yeah, check out Craig Ferguson if you can. There's a great compilation of just his best moments. Oh, I didn't even get into that. Like, you know how every host has a sidekick, right? Like, Andy has Conan. Conan has Andy. David Letterman had, what's the fucking guy's name? The keyboard player. Completely forgot his name, but you know who I'm talking about. Bald guy. Paul Schaefer, right? That sounds right. Paul Schaefer. Dave's got Paul. Jimmy Kimmel has Guillermo. Everybody's got their own spin on it. Craig has a gay robot skeleton named Jeffrey. And he also had a horse that was clearly two guys in a horse suit. It's just like, it's such a fucking bizarre, surrealist show. And if you're noticing a trend here, Conan and Craig, the way I think about my life, yes, I really value absurd humor. I think it's hilarious. I think it's the only thing that actually makes sense with life. I don't like, very intellectual humor. I think it's cool sometimes, but, if it's something is like, makes you laugh like this, it's not good enough. If you just go, they're not really laughing. You're fucking chuckling at like a cartoon you saw on the back of a newspaper. But I have pissed myself laughing, at some really dumb shit someone said, or a really absurd comment made by someone. That's my favorite kind of thing. But yeah, Conan absolutely killed it as a host, as he always does. I don't know why I was surprised, but I think my favorite joke of the night was one of the ones that was actually told by the firefighters. I mean, they wrote it, of course, but it was something to the effect of like, Timothy Chalamet, in order to get ready for his role of Bob Dylan, learned how to sing beautifully. Learned how to sing extremely well for the part. So well, in fact, that he almost lost the part. Because Dylan sounds like shit, obviously. I was just talking to a friend of mine about this. Excellent writer, Dylan. Wonderful, just amazing songwriter. How the fuck did that guy how did we let him sing? How? Whatever, dude. Okay, buddy. All right. Shut up. I don't know. I'm clearly not a Bob Dylan fan. One of his biggest haters, you could say. You could say that, and you'd be saying the truth. So, big Bob Dylan hater. But to be fair, I do like some singers with some weird voices, like Neil Young. I like Neil Young. Does he, have a powerful voice? Not really. I've been to Redwood, been to Hollywood, and I'm looking for a heart of gold. Yeah, that's not exactly what we'd call a powerful voice, right? But I like it. Maybe I just hate Bob Dylan as a person. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. But I respect Timmy's dedication. Honora fucking sweat the Oscars. That was wild. I wonder how many millions of dollars were spent there. But that, by the way, that's the thing nobody wants to talk about. Is yes, the Oscars are merit-based. But, it takes a lot of fucking money to get the right people to see the thing that, will get voted on. Do you really think I'm Still Here had the marketing budget that Honora did? Because, yeah, people are going to say, like, oh, Honora is an independent film. Sure, buddy. Sure. It's like a music parallel for some of y'all who understand the music business a little better. Oh, yeah, she's an independent artist. Yeah. And then you, find out there's a massive fucking, PR push from a company spending millions of dollars to put this person in front of you. Yeah, sure. There's no major label behind her, but there's major dollars. It's like that's the thing, right? It's just, I don't know, man. It's very frustrating. But I haven't seen Honora, so I can't hate because I simply have not seen it. I don't know if it deserved to win anything or if it didn't deserve to win anything. So I'm not going to blindly hate the way I do Bob Dylan. And I'll just assume that it was a deserving film. Now, is that, childish or perhaps foolish? Yeah. I'm just going to let it happen. I don't think I have it in me to get mad about another thing. There's too much shit going on to get mad about, which brings me to my next topic, something that has brought me great joy today. For the OG Primo boxers, you might remember I talked about going to the small claims court to do what feels like begging someone to give you your money back. And is a horrible experience. It's super shitty. Filing out all the papers and everything like that is definitely to use a callback, Sisyphean task. But you know what? I hired sheriffs to serve my former landlord, and I'm pretty sure the sheriffs did this. Hello? Well, he's not here. Bye. And then they left. $50 down the drain. Anyway, sheriffs didn't really work out, so I hired literally the first guy I found on fucking Google. And paid a man $150 to go track down my landlord and beat his ass. No, find him and then serve him with the papers. Now, I called this guy the day it was supposed to happen, and I was like, hey, just wondering if you are going to be able to, do this today? And the guy goes, hello, who am I speaking with? I'm like, hey, like I said, this is Daniel. I'm just looking to find out if you were going to be able to serve these papers. Yeah, I can't hear you. All right, man. I can't hear you. Listen, I'm on my way to serve somebody right now. I can't hear you right now. I'll call you later. And I was like, what the fuck? He legit sounded like a, New York Dominican or Puerto Rican, but in LA, like Gardena. Gardena's like close to Compton. Like, how the fuck did that happen? I don't even know. But anyways, I called him back and he's like, yeah, I just served your landlord. And I was like, oh, perfect. Great. How'd it go? And he's like, we got him. We got him. We got him. Don't worry about it. He's been served. Okay, cool. Perfect. So I went to the court today, drove all the way down to Pasadena. I actually like Pasadena, man. The older I get, at my ripe old age of 28, I think about, man, Pasadena would be a nice place to live, The Huntington Gardens alone is like a reason to move to Pasadena. But I digress. What I'm trying to say is, I went out to the courts, and I was like, here we go with this bullshit again. It's going to take me 3 hours just to fucking file a piece of paper. It's going to take forever. But no, you know what? God was like, you've had enough. You've had enough, my young one. Take a rest. I don't know why he sounds like that in my head, but I got into the court. I literally just walked up to the guy who, by the way, I've been seemingly catching the same guy every time who works there. Probably thinks I'm stalking him, but anyway, I went up to him and I was like, they managed to serve him, dude. They finally did it. And he's like, oh, hell yeah, dude. Let's do it. And I sent him over. I give him the paper. He stamps it. He's like, take a picture of that so you have a receipt. And he's like, that's it. It's over. And I was like, really? Really? That's it? I almost started crying, dude. I almost fucking kissed that guy. He was like, yeah, that's it. You just got to go to court now. I was like, thank you so much. It was intense. But now all I have to do is present my case to a judge and be like, hey, it's pretty cut and dry. This guy just stole my money. I would just like my money back. And because he fucked up on this other stuff, I'm just following the law and asking for the amount I am legally entitled to. That's it. Any more questions? Your Honor? No further questions, Your Honor. I've heard of this term in the TV before. Hearsay, Your Honor. I don't know. I can already tell how it's going to go, dude. I'm just going to, hopefully I get to talk first. I don't know if the, what do they call it? The person who's the accuser. Not the prosecution. This is not a criminal case. But there's the defendant and there's the, come on, say it with me. Plaintiff. There it is. So I'm the plaintiff, obviously. I don't know if the plaintiff speaks first, but hopefully that is the case. So I can just be like, Your Honor, hey, this motherfucker lying, Your Honor. All that bullshit he told you, that motherfucker lying, Your Honor. Don't listen to him. He's a liar, Your Honor. And she, hopefully the judge will be like, hey, man, please stop talking like that. I heard you speaking in the hallway. You don't sound that way. And then my landlord will be like, this guy is scamming. He is a scammer guy. I never took money. I never keep. I tell him I give his money back. I'm going to send him money. Fuck you, man. Like, just listen, dude. If you couldn't tell by my overall demeanor and my cheery disposition, I treat people well. I don't like to be mean to people. I don't like to do bad shit to anybody, but if you do bad shit to me, best believe, buddy, I'm not going to do anything about it. Most likely I will forgive and forget, But in this case, I was like, hey, man, this motherfucker playing with my money, man. Can't let that shit slide. So, yeah, I'm asking for literally the legal limit. Twice the legal limit? Twice the legal minute? Asking for a whopping $12,500. Now, you might be asking, whoa, Amon, that's quite a chunk of change. What the hell, buddy? Who do you think you are? Let me tell you. I'll tell you who the fuck I think I am. Retarded. But the reason I'm asking for $12,500 is because this man held on to just about $2,000 of like overpaid rent. We realized we overpaid the last month of rent. And then at first he's like, yeah, of course, take this money back. And then when he got back to the house, he's like, oh my God, I'm going to have to fix everything in the house. I'm going to keep this money. Legally, I can keep it. And it's like, you can't. You can't. Give me, hey, boy. Hey, boy. Hey, boy. Give me that money back, boy. You can't be doing that shit, boy. Boy, for you talking about, boy, give me that money, boy. Anyways, I don't know why I turned into a man from Atlanta, but all I wanted was my money back. None of this shit would have happened. All I wanted was my little stank ass $1,800 back. But this guy just didn't want to do it. So I had to, look at my rights. And when I looked it up, I'm entitled to all that back. But more importantly, this doofus forgot to send us any part of the deposit back or any sort of itemized bill for damages, right? Which he alleges he used this money to fix anyway. So it's kind of, I'm building a scenario here where there's only two ways this can go for this guy, where I'll present this case. I'll be like, okay, either this was blatant bad faith because not only is he just my landlord, he's like, he owns a property group, like a real estate group. So either this is like, he's well aware of the statutes and laws and this is just bad faith, or he's really fucking bad at his job. And that's just, it's either negligence or incompetence, right? And either one is bad, but it's one of the two. So he kind of has to choose which one it is. He has to willingly admit he sucks at his fucking job, or he has to admit that, it was bad faith. So anyway, our rent was like $5,800. Now say it with me. God damn. Yeah, it's a lot of money. It was $5,800. So what you can ask for if they don't send you any part of the deposit back is the full deposit plus twice the deposit in damages. So that alone would be more than the legal limit, right? So I'm asking for less than I'm entitled to. And yeah, I actually really held off on doing this because I didn't want to go through this whole thing. I didn't want to fucking weirdly, I didn't want to put him in that position. But then my girlfriend reminded me, he's like, hey man, this guy put you in a fucking shitty position. Didn't even blink about it. Didn't even give a shit. So now I'm gonna take him. I'm gonna see him in court. I'm gonna punch him, kick him. Legally, of course. I mean, this is an analogy for how the court case will go. I'm gonna grab him, punch it, take it down. When he take it down the floor, I'm gonna elbow him. Boom, boom, day. And then I'm gonna choke him out, mata leão, and that's it. So, we'll see how that goes. But I'm feeling oddly hopeful. What are my plans? You might be asking, oh, with such a palatial, actually, never mind. That's not the right word. I was going to say palatial sum. I don't think that would work. But what do I plan to do with this, immense wealth I intend to acquire? Just buy a old piece of shit used car because, little fun fact about me, I got my license when I was 27 years old. Now, I've been driving cars since I was like 18, but I got my license when I was 27. Now, to any officers listening out there, that doesn't mean I was driving cars with no license for 10 years. Not really, I wasn't. But I just really held off on getting a license because I lived in New York. And before I lived in New York, I lived in Switzerland, which, by the way, you think New York has a good public transport system? Switzerland is like, literally set your watch to the train level public transport. It's fucking remarkable how good it was. So I just never needed a car. Here in LA, you definitely need a car. You definitely need a car. And lately, I've been scouring Facebook Marketplace and the internets for the ultimate fucking old man car. I don't know why I want this thing. I don't know why I got this in my head, dude. But goddamn, do I want a Lexus LS 430. I just want it, dude. I don't know what it is, man. But I want it bad. I don't care if I look like an old man. It's just a good, really, really, really good car. I drove a couple of them. I've test driven a few. This one lady listed one for like $4,000, which is nothing for this car. She listed it for $4,000. It had 101,000 miles, which is, again, nothing. This is a car from like 2004, 2005. And the only thing was, she's like, oh, the headlights and the taillights are out. And I was like, dude, I have to get this right now. Like, this lady doesn't realize, even with the headlights and the taillights out, that car is still worth like $10,000. She had no idea. 9 to 10 grand. So I go to message her and I say, hey, I'd love to test drive this. And she literally, like 20 minutes after that, changed the listing to sold. So some Gary V fucker out there came out and just stole that car from me. Some guy whose job is to just scour marketplace for cars. And go like, yeah, man. Yeah, let me buy that car off for you, please. So, I'll give you $3,800 for it. Yeah. Remember Gary V? Remember that squeaky voice fuck? Trying to get all you bastards to buy NFTs and then pretty much pumping dump like all his rich friends. Pretty sick, not gonna lie. Awesome. I wish I could be that kind of guy, you know? But yeah, I feel like Gary Vee used to be a very important person in the culture of social media. Now he's just like, what? Just like Ray William Johnson. Ray William Johnson used to be the man on YouTube. Like the man. I would always look at him and be like, hey, what is this motherfucker, man? I'd always be like, what ethnicity is this motherfucker, dog? I'd be like, he looks like a crazy looking Indian or something. To this day, I don't know. Actually, you know what? Let's do some research right now. What ethnicity is Ray William Johnson? Let's see. Let's find out. Native. Huh. I guess Indian was right. But in a far more racist way than I meant it. Okay. Sick. Yeah. Nice. Okay. Ray William Johnson is native. I had no idea. Cool. Do you think he sits at home and does like YouTube algorithm dances to fucking try to get the videos to go trending? Hey, okay, that's enough. So yeah, my quest to find an old car from Japan continues. And my plan for it, once I do get it, is to just honestly keep it really nice. Because for real, they're such fucking good cars, man. They're fantastic. But you didn't tune in to listen to me talk about fucking cars. Or maybe you did. And if you did, hey, thanks, man. Thanks a lot. I appreciate that, man. Going forward, what can you expect from Primo Box Club? Less of this. You can expect far more structured episodes for sure. But I have some ideas. And I'm just going to say a couple of these, and I would love your feedback. Okay, all three of you who are listening, if you can somehow get in touch with me, either on Instagram at Amon Insta. Hilarious, I know. Or right here on YouTube. If you're watching, just leave me a comment down there. You know, tell me what you think about these ideas. So I have an idea of a world map. Then I'll literally throw a dart at it. Whatever country I land on, I have to make a 30-second to a minute song in that country's like main genre or one of the genres in that country. So for example, if I threw one at, I don't know, let's say if I threw one at Argentina, I would have to do like a tango, right? Or if I threw it at, I don't fucking know. Whatever. The whole point is there are so many different genres and so many different countries that the fun part will be like if I throw it and it lands in like, I don't know, Nepal, I'll be like, all right, let's find out what Nepalese music sounds like. And then we'll try to make a song like that. This has the potential to be so culturally insensitive that I think pursuing it is a great idea, if only to laugh at me. Okay. This is a second one that I really want to do because I am genuinely passionate about the subject. Nollywood/Wakaliwood movie reviews. If you are unfamiliar with the topic, Nollywood is Nigerian Hollywood. Okay. Classics like Why Are You Running? That is Nollywood. Okay. Classics like Who Killed Captain Alex? Wakaliwood. That's Ugandan Hollywood. Okay. If you don't know Who Killed Captain Alex, do yourself a favor and look that up immediately. Pause this. Stop listening to me. Go to YouTube. Look up Who Killed Captain Alex trailer and enjoy some of the best filmmaking in the last 50 years. Okay. So I'm thinking every week, or maybe this will be a once every 2 weeks situation. I will watch and review a full Wakaliwood movie. Because let me tell you, buddy, if you think Tubi has a prolific output of film, you don't understand what some of these Nigerian studios are doing. The amount of films they get put out, it's just insane. I will find whatever subscription service has access to these, and I will watch and give you critiques of these films and encourage you to watch them as well, because there is a Nollywood-shaped Nollywood-shaped hole in your heart. I guarantee it. You just don't know it yet. Okay? One of my dreams is to star in one of these films, is to become someone of consequence, become some sort of person that's important to somebody, or garner some type of small audience, and then star in a Nollywood or Wakaliwood movie. That would be fucking sick. I want to do that so bad. You have no idea. Yeah, I've been wanting to do that since I was like 15. Anyway, third thing, Brazilian meme review. The U.S. has cool memes or whatever, that's like the main culturally impactful country in the world. But Brazil is so far ahead in terms of like, we're light years ahead in meme technology. Like there's some shit that is like so deeply ingrained into Brazilian culture that I want to bring to you guys so you can understand a little bit more about us and what makes us tick and why we are so fucking weird and so interesting and, all that. I say with zero bias. Yeah. Anyway, look, was this the best episode back? Probably not. Did I tease some stories that I will tell eventually, like the time I got, tied up in a home invasion? Yes, I did, and we should speak about it. But for now, we're not going to do that. We're going to do it in a soon to come episode. I will talk about that experience. It is really funny. I'm thinking about working it into like more of like a storytelling stand-up bit kind of thing. Have I ever done stand-up? Not really. I've done crowd work, but that's not really that's not material. I've never done any material. So I'm scared shitless to do that. But I told myself I would do 10 open mics this year. So I have to do it. Oh boy. Okay. Anyway, listen, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening. Again, not my finest work. I'm kidding. I actually think I did fine. But thanks for listening, guys. If you are watching on YouTube, thank you for watching. Is it too bright in here? Let me know. I don't know if this lighting is a wonderful idea or a horrible idea. You let me know. And yeah, thanks again. If you are watching on YouTube, please go ahead and leave your brother a like. Leave me a comment even. Hell, leave me a comment, leave me a like, leave me whatever you want. But leave me with something. If you're feeling extra nice, if you really want to get your toes sucked, give me a subscribe. That would be so cool. You have no idea. If you are listening on Spotify or Apple Music or Deezer or D's Nuts or Amazon or any other streaming service like that one that's really popular in India, whose name I forget, just give me a rating, maybe a review or a comment or something like that. It would mean the world to me. Okay? And yeah, guys, my throat really, really hurts, so I have to call it because I for real can't speak anymore. And yeah, thanks for sticking with me. And I will see you guys in a couple of days. All right, folks. I love you all.